Hey guys, Jason with Coos Bay Fire Department. Today we're going to do a virtual station tour. Good to have you with us. Come on. Like I said, my name's Jason Wilson. I work for Coos Bay Fire Department. And normally this time of year we'd have some third graders in here doing some station tours, and a kindergarten class from Myrtle Point comes over. But since they can't come to us, we're going to come to you. So this is the virtual station tour for Coos Bay Fire. The audience would be kindergartners to third grade. This is not an adult tour, so I'm not going to talk about specifics about what year, how old a truck is, or different specifications on certain things. This is just going to be a fun kids tour. Okay. So the first thing we want to look at is this really, really old fire truck. Okay. This is actually a steam-powered fire engine, okay, and it actually has a steam engine and it powers the pump on this. How this would work is they'd build a fire with coal. The coal would heat the water up inside this, and there were lots of little tubes. Those tubes would heat the water and steam would be produced, and it would drive this pump. The hose would be hooked into the side here, and it would come out in the front, okay. This thing does not have a gas engine on it or a diesel engine. It was pulled by horses, big horses. We think they were some sort of a draft horse. We don't really quite know what breed they were. They weren't giant draft horses because they would get tired easily, and they weren't small horses because they weren't strong enough to pull this. So they were some sort of horses. The pictures I've seen, they kind of look like a Belgian or something. So anyhow, this is this steam-powered thing. We got some pictures. Actually, here's a picture right here of it being pulled by some horses, okay? And this is right after the station was built. Okay, so this is the inside. Got some cool things in here. Got a little push toy, pedal toy that we've had for a long time, some old fire extinguishers. Okay. We have some different equipment over here. Here's a really, really old machine that when there was a fire alarm, they'd have different pole stations around the city, and each station had its own little mark that it would put on here. And so based on what the marks were on the piece of paper, then they'd know what pole station went off. Okay. If you look around, we have our own Dalmatian dog. He's not real. He's kind of cool because he doesn't eat any food or anything, doesn't drink any water. He just sits up here and just watches out. So Dalmatian dogs have been used in the fire service for mascots for very many years. Lots of different reasons why. Probably the main thing is they're good guard dogs. They'd run along with the horses. They guard the fire station, and they also guard the horses when they got to fire scenes. Probably never was ever was a Dalmatian dog at Coos Bay Fire Department, or at the time Marshville. But we have one now, okay? Other things we have is a whole display case full of old memorabilia, old components. If this was an adult video, we could kind of go into where each one of these things came from, what they were used for, but just a lot of very unique stuff, kind of like a museum in here, okay? You have to be very careful that if you do come, that you don't touch these things. Some of these things can break. Some of these things like this can be very dangerous because there's dangerous chemicals in there. Carbon tetrachloride. Got an old fire pole. This fire pole actually came from the East Side Fire Station. Okay, and a bell. You guys want to hear me ring the bell? Here we go. All right. This came off an old American LaFrance fire truck, and that might have been one that looked like this at one time. Probably a little bit newer than this. Okay, and those are what fire trucks used to look like. Actually, this fire truck replaced this horse-powered wagon. So this was our first gas-powered one, and this one, it replaced this one. This one was about 1910, and I think this one came in about 1914, something like that, 1912, 1914. Okay. Mentioned earlier in that little ticker tape thing, this is an old-fashioned pull station, and how it would work, you'd either break the glass or pull down on this, and then you'd pull this lever. A bell would go off. It kind of sound like this at the fire station. Okay, and then that ticker tape machine would go off, and based on how many dashes were on that ticker tape, you'd know where the fire was. Okay? The other cool thing we have in here is an old hose cart. Okay, what do you guys think pulled this? Do you think horses pulled this? Probably not. There's no really where for a horse to hook up. The firemen actually pulled this. Okay, and this rope here would get really, really long, and so we could get lots of guys on it, and you could pull it to the fire. Cool thing was, Marshfield wasn't very big at the time. It was just a couple blocks long, and so it didn't take very long to get this where it needed to go. The other thing I think they could have done, I bet they could probably figure out a way to hook it to the back of that steam engine that's right behind you. So if they didn't have enough guys, I bet they could drag it with that also. So that's what this is. Every fire station has a picture board. This is pictures of different guys that work here, our volunteers and our interns. Okay. As we go into this area, this is our front office area where we have all of our different computer stations. Okay. And I bet you guys are getting pretty familiar with the computer at home. You guys are probably getting pretty sick of being on the computer with all of the schoolwork that you're having to do. Okay. At the fire station, every day we use the computers at work. We have to write reports and every call that we go on. We're constantly doing research, or we're writing emails, communicating with each other using the computer. And actually, when I get done filming this video, I'm going to put this video onto Facebook using the computer. Okay. If you see, there's actually somebody on the computer. This is one of our battalion chiefs, Steve Takus. Hey, Steve.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, what are you doing today?
I'm actually working on some computer work, doing some of our billing for some of the products that we have to buy to do our job daily.
Awesome. So he's doing not so fun computer stuff, but that's part of his job. Okay. Every battalion chief has their own office, including the main fire chief. You guys want to go see his office? Let's go peek in here real fast. He's got a lot of cool things in here. So the fire chief at Coos Bay Fire Department right now is Mark Anderson, and this is his office. And so he has a lot of cool memorabilia that he's collected over the years. Some of this stuff will stay. It's part of the fire department, and some of this stuff belongs to him. And so, like some of these things, like all the Denver Broncos stuff, I think he's a Denver Bronco fan, okay? But some of this stuff is memorabilia from Coos Bay Fire Department over the years, okay? That's his desk. That's where he would be. Normally I'd say, "Hey, Chief, can you wave at everybody?" And he'd wave, and so on and so forth. So, I think that's about it for the downtown areas. Let's go upstairs and see what we've got going on up here. This is the kitchen area of the fire department. This is where the guys prepare their meals. This is where they eat. There's 3 refrigerators. Why do you think we have 3 refrigerators at the fire department? Well, the reason is that we have 3 different shifts that work at the fire department. We have an A shift, a B shift, and a C shift. Okay? And each one of these shifts work a 48-hour tour. So they work for 48 hours, and then they have 96 hours off. So they come to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they don't go home till 7 o'clock 2 days from there. So, hey, there's a firefighter over there. Hey, you want to introduce yourself? Where are you from?
My name is Rylan. I am from Hawaii, and I'm a student firefighter here.
Yeah, and he's going to help with the tour. He's going to try on some gear here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Rylan, what's the best award you can give a firefighter?
Best award?
Yep, the best award.
I don't know.
The most extinguished award. So, anyhow, he wanted to be in the video, now he's in the video. So, this is the kitchen. One of the things we like to talk about, little guys, is different hazards that you might encounter inside your kitchen. The first one that you might encounter is obviously the stove. It's hot. You have pans on your stove. Always make sure that the pan handle is turned sideways so it can't get knocked off. Right now, a lot of guys are home with their little brothers and sisters. and they're helping doing the cooking and stuff. So a lot of these things, a lot of kitchen safety things. So safety around the stove, handles. The other thing is toaster ovens and toasters. The only thing that we put in those is food. Pop-Tarts, waffles, and toast. We never stick our fingers inside it, or we never put knives or forks inside to get our food out, okay? So we have to be very careful. Microwave ovens, those can be very dangerous because see how high they are? Little guys trying to get up in them. You might have to get on a stool, and they're making oatmeal or hot chocolate. The thing can dump on them, and they can scald them and get hurt. So not just fire emergencies, but scalding emergencies, electrocution things, obviously the hot water from the sink. The other thing is what's inside the sink. If there's a bunch of soapy water and there are knives in there, we have to be very careful when we stick our hands in there that we don't cut ourselves. Okay? Last thing around the corner, you can see it or not, coffee maker. Okay? That can be dangerous. You can get scalded with that. It's constantly going, and I'm sure that the parents are drinking a lot of coffee this time of year with all of you guys at home all the time, okay? So we have to be careful with the coffee maker that you're not going to get scalded with it, okay? Another new addition that we have, you may not have seen, is we made some lights out of some old helmets. It's kind of look kind of cool. All right. Something that you might see on Pinterest, but we did it out of old fire helmets, okay? Let's go into the TV room. I'll show you that. So at the end of the workday, when we're all done working and all the call reports have been put into the computer and all the training has been finished, we can come in here and relax for a few hours before we go to bed. Okay, and that's what this is kind of designed for, kind of a quiet area where you can watch TV or a movie. Really don't have a lot of time to watch TV any days, just because we're running so many calls. So this is kind of our relaxation room. Now the students actually have their own room that they can go in and hang out because they live here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So when they're not on duty, they have to have a place just to go and relax. So they have their own little, we call it a study. What would you call that room that you guys hang out in?
Just, yeah, study the room.
The study the room. You play video games in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch TV.
Yeah. What's your favorite video game you're playing right now?
Actually, I don't know.
You guys were playing, the other guys at Station 2 were playing Call of Duty the other day.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. So, yeah, anyhow. This is bathrooms. This is what a bathroom looks like in the fire department. Hopefully it's nice and clean. We've got 4 of them that are like this. There's a shower in each one of them. Okay. I'm going to go in here and check out our workout room. So firemen, firefighters have to stay in shape. They have to be able to lift. They have to be very flexible. Okay, and so this room helps us to be able to stay fit. So we come here in the mornings or in the afternoons and we work out. There's some elliptical machines, a treadmill, a bicycle, a Stairmaster, different weights that we can work out in. So I hope you guys are staying active at home right now, getting outside a little bit and playing. Okay, just so kind of keep your heart rate up. So anyhow, just encourage you guys to be healthy with that. Okay? Eating healthy foods also. Okay. This is what one of our dorm rooms looks like. This is actually Anthony. I'm very grateful he made his bed. Okay, so that's what his dorm room looks like. And they, like I said, these guys come to work and are here for 2 nights. Okay, this is our laundry room. We do our own laundry here. So my uniform, I take it off before I go home, and the next day, next time I come to work, I have a spare uniform and I wash my other set. So we can do our own laundry here. So all the germs that we may encounter at the fire station stay at the fire station. Here's a little device that not a lot of kids can name anymore. I always kind of found this interesting. This is an iron. This gets really, really hot. And what you use it for is to iron out the wrinkles in your clothes, and it goes on this stand. But it's kind of flimsy, and it can fall off and it can burn you. The other thing this has is it has water in it, and it squirts out and produces steam. So this can burn you. So you've got to be very careful when you're around these irons. Okay. So, come through here. Got a nice big window. We can look out into the bay of the fire department, the apparatus bay. Okay, and you can look out and you can see our ladder truck down there. Looks like one of the fire engines is gone. They must be on a call or maybe going to the store or something. Maybe they'll show up before we get back and we'll get a chance to look at their truck. But one of the cool things that we did when we built this fire station, a little over 10 years ago, is we moved the old poles from the original fire station over here. So we still have these poles. Company's still in business, and we use them if we have to get downstairs in a hurry. If there's a fire call, we're going to use the poles. Okay. A lot of times in the middle of the night we get up and go on calls that are not as much emergent. Somebody's not feeling sick. Somebody's feeling sick and they just needs help getting in the ambulance, going to the hospital, and we'll walk down the stairs. But if you need to get to the bay in a hurry, we go down the pole. Okay. Oh, there's one other room I want to show you. It's the student room. Okay. So our students, they are going to college to learn how to be firefighters. And a part of this college experience, they are have to be an intern here at the fire department, and this is the room that they hang out in. So on their days off, this is where they hang out. And I see there's, what is that? What kind of is that? PlayStation? What is that?
Xbox.
Xbox. Okay. So, oh look, let's turn around here real fast. The guys showed back. They're back.